Going great. Going great.
You guys had Stroud in, you got Rice Young coming. What do you hope to get out of these 30 visits with guys like, especially with those two?
With our 30 visits, it's part of our process where we're trying to do as thorough an evaluation as possible with all these guys. So it's from the combine interviews to pro days to 30 visits. It's just one more chance for us to just get more detailed on guys, right? To figure out as much information as we can to make sure that we're adding the right guys to our team. So with the 30 visits, with not only with the quarterbacks but with every position, guys, we may have a few more questions on. It's a time for us to get them in our building, a chance for our coaches to interact with these guys, meet with them, install offenses or defenses to see how sharp they are. So it's just part of the entire process, and been happy with the 30 visits. We had a lot of really good guys in, a lot of really great men, great young men in our building. So it's been fun getting to know these guys throughout the process.
DeMeco, with the start of the off-season program, what's your message to the team? What was it like standing in front of the room and addressing the guys?
Our first day of off-season started, and it was encouraging. Great participation from a lot of our guys, and for me, the message to our guys is really just, how are we showing up, right? Showing up on purpose, being detailed, oriented in how we work, and just continue to have a growth mindset in everything we do, right? Our guys understand that we want to be the best. We have to continue to strive to be better each day in everything that we do. So we're excited as coaches. We're excited to have the opportunity to meet with our guys for the first time, have the opportunity to, in a couple weeks, to actually go on the field with our guys and work with them. So it's an exciting time. We feel the energy, the excitement from around the city, from our players, our entire building. We're all fired up. We're excited to get going.
How did you want to organize this offseason, first year as a head coach, and what kind of ideas did you have to bring in with that?
How we organize the offseason, it starts just with, first and foremost, just one-on-one meetings with our players and our coaches, just to establish a relationship with our coaches and players. And we just want our players to understand that we're here for them, and we want the best for our players, and we're here to help them be better. And that's where the off-season starts. And we'll continue to be player-focused, and it's individualized for each player. How can we help them get better? And that's where our focus will be this off-season.
DeMeco, I wondered what the last couple of months been like for you. I'm sure it's been a bit of a whirlwind with everything, getting involved in everything and kind of taking over, but I just wondered, could you describe that, and how excited are you to be a part of this draft process to help build the team you're in charge of?
This entire process has been great. First coming in, being named head coach, awesome, but I know right after that was over, right, it's time to get to work. And we had a lot of work to do, and when it comes to adding free agents to our team, and also just the draft process, evaluating all the prospects within the draft, it's a lot of work, and it's great having a lot of really good people to help you out with the work. So working with Nick it's been great. Working with our coaches, right, that's been outstanding. Everybody having their input, right, everybody's input has been valuable to me, right, to make sure that we're having a thorough process in everything that we're doing. So it's a lot of work, but it's a lot of fun work when you're doing it with really good people.
Coach, going into the
Texas, we got like two quarterbacks at the top of the draft. Is there a scenario where you guys could pass on a quarterback at the top of the draft? It's not specifically the guy that you like, but you could pass on a quarterback.
Yeah, I want to talk specifically about what we're doing with our plans for the draft. We'll evaluate. We'll have to be ready to pick. When our time comes to pick, we'll be ready to pick.
Coach, going into a rebuilding situation, you have some foundational pieces that you can build on, but could you speak to some of the needs that you all may be able to address in the draft?
With the free agency process, that was very important to me to add veteran guys to our team, right? So I feel like we did a really good job, right, adding guys at multiple positions that have NFL experience. So we're not going into a draft where there's this huge need, right? We have guys with experience. Now with the draft process, we can take our time. We can add young guys who can come in and add depth to our roster, and guys that we can take the time to develop, right, and give those guys time to develop and grow and become starters eventually.
Understanding that, you say you all pay too much attention to what other teams are doing. But if your preferred guy is off the draft, have you all had discussions about trading up, or have you all talked with the Panthers about trading up at all?
Yeah, we won't. Again, I won't get into draft strategy and trades and all of those things.
What do you expect out of Case Keenum?
With Case, you a true professional, right? And he's going to be that coach on the field for us. Case has a ton of experience. He's been in a lot of different schemes, has a depth of knowledge. I feel like as a player, sometimes another player in that room can say things in a different light that may hit you a little different than the coaches can. So with Case and just all of the experience he has, just see him as a guy who can come in and help the younger guys who are in the room.
DeMeco, what are some of the things that you're doing to develop chemistry and synergy within your coaching staff?
Yeah, with our coaches, our coaches, this is a fun group of guys. Really enjoy being around each other. We spent a lot of time over the past month or so being around it, but it's been cool to see how all of our guys have gelled well together and work well together. So our guys do a good job of not only being here, but connecting outside of the building, right? Spending time, families, our wives, being able to interact, and just that's the type of atmosphere I wanted to create here, is that family atmosphere. And I'm seeing it first and foremost with our coaching staff and their families.
DeMeco, how is John Mechie doing, and what is his status, and what do you guys kind of feel like he is at medically and also just from a football standpoint?
Yeah, John is doing fine. We'll see John get involved with our off-season program, and with John, as with every other player, we're going to take it one day at a time and see where he can grow and where he can be when time comes, the right time, when the season comes. We'll see where he is.
What's been the biggest differences in the draft process from your time when you were a coordinator versus now being the lead man in charge?
The cool part about this process with the draft for the past 3 years, when I was in San Fran, I've sat through draft meetings for every position. So this is not a new year for me. It's the same as it's been the past 3 years. We sat in and heard evaluations from all of the offensive prospects and defensive prospects. So for me, it's very important for me to have the coaches' input, have the scouts' input, have everybody's input on a player to make sure that we're adding the right guys to our team. So it's not a new process for me. Been through it a couple years, so it's the same. It's pretty interesting to see, when you go through it a few times, it's easy to kind of comp players to different players from the past. So it's been an interesting process.
Have you had a chance, I know you haven't had a chance to be on the field with your players here yet, but have you learned anything that you didn't know about the people that are already here just in your short time that stands out to you? Nothing I didn't know already. Nothing I haven't learned that I've already knew about most of the guys. When you talk about a guy like John Mechie, just meeting him in person, right, hearing his story and then meeting him in person, like, it marries up. Like, outstanding young man off the field, great energy, always around. Every time I seen him in the building, huge smile on his face, no matter what adversity he's faced, right? He's attacking it with a smile, attacking it with the right attitude, and it just solidifies the type of person that he is and the type of people and the type of players that we want to add to our team is guys with that type of attitude.
Coach, you talked about the veteran free agents that you all brought in. You brought them in. A lot of them have short-term deals. As a former player, were you able to evaluate what you were bringing into your team and what they will be able to add even in that short amount of time that they're signed for?
Right. The guys that we added, I feel like they bring the type of style of play that I want them to play with, right? And even though it's a short-term deal, right, guys are hungry, and that's the most exciting thing about it, right? Guys have short deals. Most of the guys are betting on themselves, and I love that about the players because a guy's betting on himself to come out, showcase, and prove the type of player that he is. And a lot of guys are looking for the bigger deal, right? So it says a lot about the mindset of the guys we're bringing in, that they truly believe in themselves, right? They have that belief, they have that motivation, they have the right mindset to prove it, and I'm all about having those players.
Are Stroud and Young, are they both visiting this week?
We visited with Stroud last week, and Bryce will be coming in.
Whenever you go in, I don't know how many quarterbacks you've had in your top 30, but do you go in with the same set of questions? I mean, how do you go in with these guys to kind of understand them, and what's, you know?
To me, meeting with players, it's organic. Right? It's not a set list of questions that we go down. It's organic because each individual is different. So I don't treat guys the same, or I don't have the same set of questions for everybody. It's just an organic meeting, like truly trying to understand and get to know the person, understand their why and what motivates them.
With quarterbacks, because you've been around quarterbacks before and with the 49ers too, what qualities do you find most impressive?
With any position, I think the qualities I'm looking for is guys who are dedicated to work, and guys who are dedicated to be the best at what they're doing. Right? And I feel like you get guys with that mindset, that they're coachable, they're accountable to their teammates. Right? You get guys with the right mindset, guys who want to be better, no matter what the position is. It doesn't matter, quarterback, linebacker, D lineman. We want guys who are willing to be coachable, guys who are willing to work, guys who want to be the best at what they're doing.
For DeMeco about the opportunity to add depth, in addition to the veterans that you guys added in free agency, adding depth in the draft. But how do you sort of view this opportunity, having the number 2 overall pick, to add a leader to the team, add somebody that can potentially be the face of the franchise and lead the team for much longer than, say, 2 years or so?
Yeah, having the number 2 pick it's exciting for us to have the number 2 pick, but it's also at the same time there's no pressure where the young man is picked. I think it's unfair to ask a guy, just because you're picked number 2 overall, you have to come in and you're the face of our franchise and you're the leader. That's unfair to the guy, right? And I'm not going to put that type of weight on the shoulders of whoever that is that we pick. That's not what we're anticipating. That's not what we're expecting them to do. We're expecting them to come in, be a great teammate, work hard, right? Be deliberate in what you're doing, and have a mindset to get better each and every day. That's the mindset. No matter if it's pick 2 or the last pick of the draft, it really doesn't matter when you get picked, right? Leaders, those guys will grow based on our team, and each team is different. Like we have leaders in our locker room already. So I'm not asking a guy to come in and be this savior for our team, asking a guy to come in and just put his head down and just work.
Do you think being a former player, how do you think that shapes how you go through the evaluating process when you're looking at young guys coming into the league?
I've seen a lot of different players, being a player in this league. Seen a lot of different players, a lot of different talent. I think for me, in the evaluation process, I just know it can be done multiple ways, many different people, different sizes, different shapes, different talents. It can be done multiple ways, so I don't get handcuffed into a guy has to be a certain measurable, a certain size, a certain this, a certain that. It's just what is that guy's character makeup, and what type of play style does he have on the field.
When you were in San Francisco, you had multiple first-round picks in the defensive line, but you had a lot of day 3 players, 5 total, that started on the secondary, the linebacking core. When you look at day 3 players who are potential roster cuts, what are intangibles that you are required to have for them as people, not as players? Yeah,
as people, day 3 guys, they have to be very intrinsically motivated. I feel like that's the makeup of day 3 guys. Right? They have this desire that can be unmatched, and that allows them to unseat guys that are in front of them. That allows them to go on and be very quality players in the NFL. Right? It has to be a little different because there may be some type of measurable or something that didn't quite match up to make you that day 1 guy. So what's your drive? What's going to give you that edge? And most of those day 3 guys have a certain chip on their shoulder that allows guys who may be touted as the best all the time, right, and they get relaxed. Day 3 guys, sometimes they have that chip on their shoulder that just drives them over the top. And I love guys who coming in and have a chip on their shoulder, have something to prove. They work different.
There's a lot of excitement from the fan base. There's a lot of excitement from the fan base with your hiring and you coming here. Do you feel any pressure behind that?
No pressure for me at all. This is an outstanding organization, outstanding job. I love the excitement, being around the city, just everybody stopping, fans are excited, they want to take pictures, they want autographs. It's an exciting time, and I don't feel any pressure. all right, because I know I'm surrounding myself with the right people, and I know we can get the job done, all right? And I know Houston is hungry for a winner. Trust me, I'm just as hungry, to create a winner here for this organization, for this city. It means a lot to me, and I want to be able to bring that to Houston. So it's no pressure. It's just it reminds me, just continue to put your head down and go to work with the right purpose, right, and to be detailed and just to make sure we're adding really great players to our team. So when we line up on that field on Sundays, I want to just put a team out there that our city is proud of.
And it helped that you hit that first shot, right, at the Rockets game.
Hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Talking about
What are your thoughts on rookie quarterbacks starting right away? I know Purdy's sat a few games before he got in. Trey Lance sat a year. What are your thoughts on that? And do you feel like you all have done enough to put enough pieces around for that person to be successful if that potentially happens?
With the quarterback position, it's all about the guy. Right? We talk about a rookie quarterback, a veteran quarterback. It doesn't matter. What's the makeup of the guy, and is he worthy to start for your team? That's all that matters. It doesn't matter where the guy is in his career. Is he a rookie? Is he third year, fourth year? Who's the best guy? Who's the right guy for our team? And we don't know that right now. We haven't lined up and went out and practiced football at all, so we'll figure that out when the time comes.
We'll close with Roach, DJ, and Drew.
You were talking about the number 2 pick or whoever at that slot, how not to be the save to remove the weight. You're not going to put the weight on the shoulders like that. How do you remove that for a player?
I let him know from the start there's no pressure. That's it. I'm not putting pressure on a guy to come in and just because of where you're picked in the draft, it's unfair to say that a guy is the leader of an organization and he hasn't played one snap for our team.
Because they're going to feel that from other outside ways too. I'm just curious if there was other ways that you knew how to
You just don't
manage
put
that.
too much pressure on him.
Obviously, you remember when you were first time linebacker coach and the first time defensive coordinator. You have some guys on the staff that are going to be first time in their specific role. What's the developmental process as a head coach, teaching them how to become better in those specific roles?
Right. With first time coaches, it's a matter of just letting the guy grow, giving them space to grow. Right. For me, with coaches, it's helping them just as much as I want to help players, right, be successful. It's giving them pointers, giving them tips of where I see they may need them, but it's also giving them the space to grow, giving them the space to make mistakes and figure it out. I feel like experience is the best teacher. So to become a better teacher, a better coach, you have to actually get out there. You have to do it. You have to mess it up a few times, and then you start to figure it out.
Earlier you mentioned this time of year is an individualized approach for each guy. You want them to improve some certain things. As head coach with a roster so big right now, how involved are you with that? I mean, how much are you able to pinpoint guys? And I know you're one day in, but are you able to pinpoint guys? How much do you delegate? So on and so forth.
Yeah, it's a lot of delegation. It starts with our coordinators, me communicating with our coordinators and the coordinators to the position coaches of setting individualized time for each player. Right, first and foremost, to get to know each coach, to connect with them on a personal level, and then I will as well try to, get a few meetings with some players as well for myself, just to make sure I have that connection with the guys as well. I think that the connection is very important from a coaching staff and player, just understanding that we're all on the same page and we're all striving for the same goal. We're all here to make the Houston Texans organization a winner. And we only do that if we're connected and we're together. So it's very important. It's a very important part of the process for me to make sure that the players understand that I'm genuinely here and I have their best interests at heart.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. All right.